Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Rahim here. Welcome. Critical Analytics. This a series where we take a serious analytic approach to a particular subject, primarily current events. So our topic today is going to be the big thing they talked about today, which seemed like no one can stop talking about. Like yesterday and the day before, that sister who turned her back on the flag. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about a couple other things, and keep it short today. But that is very critical, because it just says a lot of things. It points out a lot of things. It brings a lot of things to the surface. See, it points out a lot of things. It really speaks to a lot of issues that we're dealing with. You may not realize it. See, so we'll see as we go along. Then we'll, you be the judge. Now, we need a little history. See, what we're dealing with here with Massa, Gog, America, Europeans, the Chaldeans, is a hypocritical people. They want to be known as perfect, beautiful, angelic beings. But their actions and their works are far from that. Far from that. And there's no connection. But who? And see, that's the problem. See, the problem is that they have to eliminate anyone or anything that contradicts their impression of themselves. That's hard to matter, because who wants to think of themselves as evil? I mean, do you think that Satan thinks he's evil? No, he thinks God is evil. He thinks God is flawed, or he would be, with him. But see, Satan has to follow his nature, and he says, my nature can't be wrong. I mean, how can he go against his own? If you go against your own nature, that's sin. That's sin. If a wicked person start trying to act righteous, he'll be sinning against itself. We got to break these words, terms down, and understand what they mean. If you go against your nature, that's what sin is. You go against your own nature. So if a devil tries to be righteous, he going against his own nature, he's sinning. See, Elijah Muhammad spoke to that in an indirect way, but he says, even if the devils decide to repent, they decide to say, no, you got to keep doing what you're doing. Because you have to be yourself. Because even if they say, oh man, if I don't change, I'm going to die. But if they change, they die spiritually. So they don't die physical death, die spiritual death. And I'd rather die physical death than spiritual death. Because we lived a spiritual death for 400 years here. You want that? Would you want to go through that? Or would you rather say, I'm out of here? See, because we're forced to act against our own nature. That's a spiritual death. See, critical analytics, we have to analyze these things, understand what they mean, what sin is. When you go against your nature, that's what sin is. So if Satan started trying to act righteous, he'd be going against his own nature. That means he could never be happy. He'd always be fighting against himself. And when he get first opening he'll be fighting against you to bring his vision back into existence. Because he's going to strive to do everything he can to create time that's favorable for him. See, we're all time creators. He's going to create time that's favorable for him. And that's the race we have right now. You got two natures creating time. And if they succeed, right, our vision is destroyed and we're destroyed. The only way we can survive is like we survived the last 400 years, right? We survived in spiritual hell, spiritual death. That's why it calls dead, because we had to act against our own nature. And right now, you have most of our people acting against their own nature because they're afraid of these people. And when they do see that they act according to nature, end up in prison, jail, or dead. That's what sin is. So we've been forced to act against our nature. And some of us just gave up. See? And so therefore they in the drugs, alcohol, whatever, all that stuff, because that's what happens. You go against your own nature. Because they're afraid. Because this society is not our nature. It's totally against our nature. And if you're inconsistent with it, right, you're either sinning or you're a demon. Now, a demon, they're not going against their nature when they accept this. They prosper in this because this is their nature. Capitalism, socialism, the democracy, all this stuff, right? This is their nature because they're their daddy's children. So they prosper in this. You understand? They prosper because time is being created that's favorable for them. But that time is not favorable for us. See? And so as soon as you start trying to act your own nature, right, they come at you. And then you have to have a very powerful means to protect yourself or they would devour you. So they got over 1 million of our brothers and sisters in prisons. And a lot of them in there because they was trying to be true to their nature. They're not sinners. They're criminals because in this society, if you're original person, you act according to nature, you become criminal by definition because you're acting against their culture, their ideas, their government, whatever, their way they do things. So they criminalize you. And you don't, I hope some of you understand some of these things because this is a part of what's going on here. And this gets back to his sister. See, because you don't understand what's, the law. See, that's why it talks about the law. The law was given them, but see, they hate the law because the law says that they're evil. The law says they're criminal because they can't obey that law. That's it. We don't want to share law here. We don't want Ten Commandments law here. They say they with Jesus, but they don't want his law. Now they're saying they're teaching, right, that he's gay and all this stuff. See? That's why it says the law for them, they had to get away from the law and go to grace because long as that's that mystery in there about the law and the grace in the so-called New Testament that Paul was talking about. See? To had do away with the law because under law, they was guilty. So they had to go with grace. Under law, they're guilty because under law, right? Rape, murder, all, So under grace, see, right? Then somebody else died for their sins. So they're going to go, why do God die for your sins? I mean, if you don't have any sin, nobody got to die for them, right? So they're very sinful. And that's why he said he had to get rid of law. They had to get rid of law, all that stuff about eating pork and all that kind of stuff. They had to get rid of that. That's what that mystery is all about. They had to get rid of the law because the law condemned them. Because the law is our nature. That law is our nature. This is, brother, maybe I'm not going to go, really, I could sit here for a while, really talk about this because this is really getting into some really, really deep stuff here. And that's not my intention tonight. But maybe I think I should just have something to explain this because those are things that they're confused in the Bible. They don't understand what that means. See? Read about Paul. He said he went, and Paul never was a disciple. He never met Jesus. He said his name was Saul originally, right? And he said he was walking on the road to Damascus. He was killing Christians. He was writing them out. And then he said a vision of Jesus. Jesus said, why you persecute? That's what he said. Then he became Christian. That's what he said. He went to church. He changed everything. He got rid of law and everything. They could eat pork. They could, or everything they wanted to. All they had to do was believe in Jesus. See, there's a big mystery there. But the whole idea is that They could not be successful under the law because that's our nature, that's our vision. See? So they had to do it. That's why I say the law had to be done away with. Some of you that's into the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. That's why the law had to be done away with because they cannot obey the law. It's against their nature. That's why Adam was make mixture of blood, right? See, that's the whole point. He was given the whole sealed Bible where they could do all those things. The unsealed Bible says no. You see, that's the whole thing about 10 Commandments I talked about not too long ago. 2 tablets, it hit them too because they couldn't obey the law. They cannot obey the law because it's against their nature. That's our law. Their law, right, is against our law. Their law is what you see as garbage. They have. It is the best. It's the best on the planet. The best law. That's what the Quran says. The Quran says if you take and judge others in the way Allah says to judge, then you know you curse it. But they say, oh, there's everything the best. But see, it suits them. See, we got this. You don't understand. We have this conflict between two visions. Now they're trying to tell, oh, we all one, we all one. Why? Because they saying that because you helping them bringing their vision in. You helping them create their vision, helping them create time. Because that's what it is. You have to have vision, and then once you take the vision, right, that's what you use that to start creating time. Right? You turn the be into is. And that takes creating time. Time is not like a watch. That's you think. Time is converting energy, giving energy form. That's what time is. If nothing happens, there's no time. Right now, I'm giving energy form. I'm taking pressure waves and I'm turning into words. I'm giving energy form. That's what I'm doing right now. And you're doing the same thing. You're taking it, there's pressure waves, and you turn them into thoughts and vibrations. You're converting energy to form. That's what we do. We breathe in air, and we're taking that air, right, that energy, and we convert it to living material and stuff and food. We're converting energy to form. That's what time is. I know you don't understand time like that. That's what time is. All times you go back and forth. That's BS. That's what time is. Converting energy to form. When you stop doing it, there's nothing moves. There's no time at all. But when you're moving, right? How you move? You move by converting energy. Because how you move? You have to have energy to move, and you make energy to go from one place to another. You convert energy, right, to something else. That's what time is. And you need to understand that. And so your time, and who's the best at creating time, right? That's the time we have to deal with. If someone's greater than creating time than you, right? Because okay, this universe we have, somebody created that, right? That's the time we're creating. We're living in it. And so now all of us individually are creating time. See? If we start thinking as one, then we'll create a unified time. That's why we need to be unified. But right now, what time are you creating? Look around you. This is the time you're creating. Is this world good for you? This didn't come out of nowhere. You didn't wake up one morning and they woke up one morning, there was cars out there and electricity and stuff, right? Somebody had to convert energy to form. And this is the vision you see they're bringing in. And where's your vision? What is your vision? Do you have a vision? But think about it. So people without vision perish. Where's your vision? Because we was given a vision. But what is your vision? You Farrakhanites out there, what is your vision? Is your vision Master's vision to stay here and make this a better place and bring devils in inner eye, right? Is that your vision? Well, surprise, surprise, right? That's also the devil's vision. That's not Allah's vision. That's not Master Muhammad's vision. That's not Elijah Muhammad's vision. That's why I said the messenger of the covenant. What's that? The messenger of the vision. And now we have the energy to make that vision into reality, create time. We couldn't do that for 50,000 years because we were suffering time deprivation. Brothers and sisters, some of you out there are catching on. I'm listening. Some of you starting to catch on. I see the sparks. But boy, when you when you make a full revolution, you're gonna be something, because you're gonna realize how much power you got. See, Elijah Muhammad said that we have scientists walking around amongst us. Scientists from France, they used to visit him in his hospital. They said they won't mess with you, won't tell you, unless they know you know what you're talking about, who you are. And it says these, he says, and the God and these, right? If they could check you, and if they see that you might recognize it, make snatch that thought right out your mind, so you won't even because they can they can camouflage themselves, hide themselves. If they see you picked up, snatch the thought right out your mind. If they think that you might recognize them. But the thing is that, well, like I'm saying, I'm trying to get you to understand what time is, how it works. See? So they create their time. See? And that's why you have a race. That's where the idea of race comes from, because you got two visions now. Once Dr. Yakub came along, you had two visions now. You got a race. Whose vision is going to survive? Whose vision is going to win? Got to have that vision. So, I'm just going to stay with two subjects, I think, today. I want to talk about Melchizedek. I want to talk about his sister, but I said I want to in a more broader context. See, because it gets back to our vision. And again, ask yourself, what vision do you have? See, because Master Muhammad, he's the master of creating visions right now. At creating time, rather. See, and they can't keep up with him. For 464 years, we couldn't keep up with them. Now, Master Muhammad, he's great. They can't keep up with him. And they're racing, right? They're trying to discover how he's creating time. He's got these vehicles and all. He created that. That's creating time. He turned energy, gave energy form, and that's the kind of form he gave them. And that's superior. And it moves through time faster than their vehicles. And I don't know if you can appreciate this or not, but you move in the direction and the speed of your thought. So apparently, Master Muhammad, right, thinks much faster than they do, because his vehicles are moving much faster than theirs. See, I see a lot of things I need to really explain them to understand, because I think some of this stuff, not that putting anybody down. See? But when KV start thinking faster, right, that means he start moving faster. So once he had to move, he can't physically move faster, running. So as soon as he started moving, in other words, say for instance, you're moving at 1 mile an hour. See? And then you're moving at 1 mile an hour, then you move 1 mile and a foot faster every day. So you're gonna start thinking in that direction. So by the time you get to 2 miles, right, you would have created some kind of means to move at 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour. See? They move, making faster cars. This happened as direct relation to your thought. So faster and faster cars, planes, jets. They move faster and faster and faster. So it means brother, I wish I could really get you to understand your connection to your mind, your reality. Because now they're thinking faster, right? So they're moving faster. and they make their reality, right? And so they, what, phones, computers, great thing, and faster and faster and faster, and that's the evidence of them moving fast because they create time to match their thought. Because your thought is what's taken and creating time. And so as you start thinking faster, you create time faster. That means you move faster through time. That's why you see what's happening. So that means they're thinking faster, faster, and faster. Because it moves faster and faster and faster. See? And so, but we got a God that's much faster than them. See, he creates something move way fast, move faster than them, way ahead of them. The problem is his people are way behind. He's trying to get them up. You see? So he raised somebody up, right? Say Elijah Muhammad started getting prepared, right? But then you make a car, you got to test to see if things gonna work all right. See, before you put it on the road, now it's Farrakhan. So they test you. And most of you fail the test. Can't put you on the road. And that gets into another subject. So I'm probably going a lot more deeper than I expect to. But to get you on the road, so let me make a little note here, because what I do is I get, and sometimes I, use a little track. And where's my pen at? Excuse me, brothers and sisters. So I can locate my pen, which I don't see it anywhere. This might be it here, hopefully. Good, 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 good. So, we're talking about we need to keep up. And then he says, okay, what do they call it? So, because we're moving into the hereafter. If you can keep up, see, it's like a storm coming, right? And you're trying to outride that storm. If you can't outrun that storm, then you're going to be taken by a storm. And a storm is coming, brothers and sisters. Can you outrun it? That's what Elijah Muhammad came to prepare you for it, right? That also putting you in the furnace. When you put something in the furnace, you purify it. And so we purify our nation. It's called culling. We don't want the impurities. The ones can't keep up. See? And that's where Farrakhan comes in. See? Burn out the impurities and all this stuff you see around you. NFL, NBA, all that stuff. All those distractions to pull you away. Because you think about it, it's the same process when sperm goes into the female, right? It goes through a canal, it goes all the way, right, until it gets to that egg. It finds it goes along, it's a long path for it. For it might like be 1,000 miles. But all those sperm was distracted. There was all kinds of distractions thing. So only one made it. It wasn't distracted. It was focused and it stayed on, it stayed on track. And it got there and door closed. And that's what's happening, brothers and sisters. Can you keep up? So Elijah Muhammad came to get you ready, see? And what it takes, a master of the covenant, right, to certify you and to make sure you're ready to run the race, to get to finish off, to get to the finish line. Because Master Muhammad, he's way ahead. He's running like, and so therefore you need a coach. You need a fast runner, right, to get you to keep up with him. And you don't understand. You don't understand Elijah. You sure don't understand Suleiman. You don't understand Suleiman at all. You don't. You really don't. See? Because he's like a super fast runner. There are a lot of his fellows, right, fell down, so he's carrying them. He got 5 people on his back running, so now he's running slow because he's carrying them on his back. But he's trying to save them. He's trying to outrun that. He's trying to outrun, right, that hurricane with carrying them 5 people on his back. See, he's easy to outrun them if he didn't have them. Hope you get my drift on this one, brothers and sisters. See, Master Prophet Muhammad didn't show his true self. He couldn't. He couldn't show his true brightness, not even to Elijah. If you read in there about the story about what's in the Quran, right? When Moses wants to see God, he said, "Well, look, he showed him his hind parts." You better read that one again. Show him his hind parts. He only showed us. That's all he saw was his hind parts. Read it. He couldn't see him wholly, totally. For there was no way in the world he could have exposed himself totally to Elijah Muhammad. It would have burned him up. Just a little bit he gave him was enough to tear his country apart. And then you got the book, the angel, that no one could figure out. And really, there's so much to it I haven't even told you. You see, I keep adding a little more of it here and there. Okay. Because we got to get our people's emotions. Because once they, look, our people are fast. Once they get movement, once you get them moving. But you got to get them moving. It's hard to move a god. It's like hard to move an elephant. But once you get them moving, boy, you better watch out. That's what they're afraid of. Once you raise Lazarus, boy, it's all over. But can you keep up? Because Farad is making time. He's got that vision. He's creating that vision. That's it. He went to prepare a place for us. I'm going to prepare a place for you. He went ahead of us. Now we got to catch up because the storm is coming. That's my job, to keep you ahead of that storm. See, Elijah Muhammad warned you about the storm, so you start preparing. But now the storm is coming. And I got to lead you out of the storm. Those of you who are fast enough to keep up. Because it wouldn't make any sense for me to hold myself back. All of us destroyed by it. Storm is coming. And that's part of, we want to purge those, right? We want to purge all those weak ones. Can't use them. We get rid of the demons and get rid of weak ones. They can keep up with time. What are we going to do? We can't remake them. Where's still in Exodus? Remember that read the story of Exodus. It says they was roaming around the wilderness. Part of the reason was so the older generation would die in the wilderness because they still had the same mind frame as the Egyptians. They still had the same mind frame and they wasn't going to hereafter. Read it. That's part of the reason that 40 years of roaming around the desert to get rid of the old generation. It says only a couple of people from the old generation was left. That was Joshua and someone called the son of Nun. Most people, it was all gone, wiped out in the woods. That's the whole 40, purpose of 40 years. Another way of saying, right, Farrakhan purged them. He led them around the wilderness 40 years, right? They was tested. And only 2 that was with Elijah Muhammad said even passed the test. And that was, it said Joshua and this person called son of Nun, whoever that is. I know you wish you knew. You have to understand, brothers and sisters, can you keep up? I'm trying to get you, I'm your coach, trying to get you fired up. Because how you gonna get to here if you don't have the vision? You have to take. Okay, if you want to go, if you want to go from New York to Chicago, are you gonna get there by praying or sleeping? No, you got to convert energy to form, some kind of way to get there. A plane ride, something, but you got to get there. You got to convert energy to form. You want to get to hereafter, you convert energy to form. You have to focus on that. Because if you want to go to Chicago from New York, right, you don't get there by going right towards England first. You got to be focused. You got to go there. If you got to get there a certain time, you got to focus on energy to get there. You ain't getting there going to Philly or going down to Baltimore. No, you want to go. You got to get there right away. You got to go straight there. If you want to get to the hereafter, especially if they tell you, hey, man, you got to be in your car. Say for instance, um, they say uh, America's going to, there's going to be earthquakes going to destroy America, and you got to be in Chicago, right, by 3 o'clock, right, because that's the last plane leaving out before this big earthquake. Now you got to be there by 3 o'clock. See? And now it's what? 12 o'clock. You got 3 hours to get there. So you ain't got time for NFL. You ain't got time for anything else. All you got to do is focus on how the hell I'm going to get there in 3 hours. Because if I don't get there, this person's going to hurt, place is going to earthquake, and it's going to kill me. And that's what it's talking about. America's about to burn. It's going to burn. The Bible tells you that. So it means you got to start using your energy to convert your, get the hell out of here. But that's what they're doing. You convert energy, stay here and try to make this place better when they tell you to burn it up. I can't get you to understand that. So therefore, you're going to burn. The last train leaving is going to be doing tribulation. That's like a mercy train. And you're going to be running like hell on that one. Because that's going to be just, in other words, you understand, that's when you're going to start hearing a rumbling. That's the tribulation. Just before, the earthquake comes, you start hearing, oh man, it's rumbling now. It's any time now, right? So, hey man, there's one last train out of here. I better get on it. That's the tribulation. Because how are you getting out? You get out just before China and India invades the country. They're going to be right at the border. That's what it's talking about. The sea was opened up so you could pass through. I know you don't understand, Angel. That's what it's talking about, really, right? Because they're classified as the sea, right? Sea is opened up, Red Sea, sea is open, and they use space to pass through. But then it closed in on the Egyptian army. You think they're talking about water? Do you really think they're talking about water? They're talking about these army, 200 million man army, going to be on the coast of America. That's that goat on the coast of America, West Coast, that's getting ready to knock America out. And the only thing is, you're going to get the last train out. See, you're going to be left behind in the tribulation, so you got to go through the scenic route, and you're going to get, so you got to go through hell to get that last train out. Oh man, we only got one more train out. See, because you missed the first one, because you was too slow. Scratching your butt, NFL, all this kind of stuff. So you have one little mercy train. If you miss that one, there's nothing else, nothing else going out. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to move on because I could talk about this all night. There's a lot of stuff I need to talk to you about, brothers and sisters. And believe me, when you get out here, when you see the power and that your mind has and things you can do, you're going to be, you ain't going to believe it. Like I hinted to brother, sister today that, we control the weather, but you don't know that you do that. See? The weather's angry because the God's angry, because our people starting to get angry. That's why the weather's messed up in America. Brothers and sisters, when you get it, you the God, don't you understand? That means something. You are so powerful. That's why you cannot leave here unless you have a thorough knowledge yourself. Because we can't have elephants run around here and here after blind elephants tearing up every damn thing. That's why this was designed like it is. It's more designed than you think. One of the reasons why was put all the way over here, away from over there, right, in the middle of Satan, because if we don't go out with a ticket in Lamb's Book of Life, then you can't get out. Because Satan ain't going to let you out. You got to go to battle with him. That's part of the reason, because we don't want you. See? So you're going to have to go, you have to build, your two gods are going to have to battle with each other. See, that's part of what the demon army and all that kind of stuff. That's part of me to trap you here. Because if you resist this truth and you can't get that proper vision, or you can't handle the vision, some people can't handle the vision. That's another problem. Because you got to handle the vision. First, you got to get that vision to do something on the vision. You got to want to go. Your car going to start making moves to get there. That's why I'm going to drag you. We're not going to drag you. So if you can't, your mind can't handle the vision, that's another story. That means you're not going out of here. And we don't want you over there. So we're not going to have any police force. We don't have all that stuff anymore. They say you're going to be given a heart to love your God. We don't need that stuff because nobody's going to be, we're going to act out. We're going to have a righteous people. And righteous people, you don't have to have police force like I said. You have to force them to do anything. Do you see the ants have a police force? You see the wolf pack have a police force? And everybody gets along because everybody acts according to their nature. But you put a lion in the middle there, you got a problem. See, so that's up to you, brothers and sisters. If you can't make it, you can't make it. So that's the whole thing. That's why you be trapped here. If you don't go out that way, the way prescribed for you, you can't go out. You're going to have to be stuck right here, battling with Satan, right? And death and Hades. You're going to be battling all of them. See, maybe you're powerful enough to destroy them. Maybe you might, but then still you got to get home, get back over there, and that's not going to happen. See, because we can have you come over. Because did you understand? If you all that power elephant, and we let you loose in the China shop, you're going to tear everything up. Then we got to be fighting with you. We don't want that. Because just like Samson, remember, Samson got all his strength back. He was powerful, but he didn't get his eyes back. See, and we don't want that. See, because now we got you're God like we're God now. We don't want that kind of fight. That'd be a hell of a fight. It would be a hell of a fight, believe me, because you be fighting hard. You be blind, but you be fighting hard because you're powerful. A blind elephant is still powerful. He might not know where he's hitting, but wherever he hits is gonna go down. Well, it's just so much to talk about. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, the first thing I want to let's talk about this sister a little bit. Let's move on to the next page. See what I got here. Okay, I should change that tab. We'll leave racism. That's the bottom line on that one. Well, we just move on because I've talked a lot more aspect to. I want you to listen to this for a minute. I want you to listen to this.
Thank you, Carrie. Welcome to God, Pastor Rick. So she's embarrassed to be on the Olympics team receiving a medal while they're playing the national anthem of the country that sent her. And she wants to represent America, but at the same time she's ashamed of it. Did I get that right? Who made it possible for her to go to the Olympics? America. And was she aware when she started years ago training for the Olympics that they played the national anthem? Oh, certainly. They probably played it at other events along the way. So, look, it's another gaslighting by the left. What you got to understand is the left is deliberately gaslighting the American people. They're doing things so outrageous, shocking. They want you shocked, angry, stunned. Like, you don't know what to do. Like, I can't believe somebody's that ignorant and disrespectful to the flag. Look, it's gaslighting. Everything the left is doing is to destroy anything that's good. Yes.
See, she's ignorant, stupid. See, destroy everything's good. What is good about America? See, that's what they think about themselves. But see, we don't. Those original people know ain't nothing good about this place. There's nothing good about shit. I mean, you can use for fertilizer. Other than that, what's good about it? You can't clean up shit, but they want to get, everything's good about America, and then she's stupid. Why in the hell should she? I mean, this flag. I'm I'm lost for words here. They raped us, beat us, killed us, murdered us, and everything else drags over here. And that, but we're supposed to respect them and respect their flag, and just forget about all that like it never happened. And it's still doing it. I mean, I got a few there's a few of the nuggets this dude got, boy, but he got some pearls. He come out of his mouth. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. But these people are totally sick. Now that woman's saying, she's standing up, man, hell with y'all. Why should I respect that flag? Give us one good reason why we should respect that flag. But to them, well, why would she be limited? If it wasn't for America, what's she supposed to do? Is lie down and die? Your boy's over here. So that she want to compete, let the girl compete. That's what she want to do. I mean, that's her choice. Like I said, I'm not telling anybody if you want to choose to be an entertainer or whatever you want to be, right? If that's your choice. That is right. But if you know if that's your misdirection or that's what the distraction for getting back home, then that's on you. Yes, but if that's what you want to do, that's your encouragement. As the Christ said, if you want this world life, well, I will give it to you. If that's what you want, then go for it. Because there's no point for you in the hereafter. I tell demons right here, man, you better get all you can get. I don't blame for doing it. Farrakhan doing his thing, I don't blame for doing it. Right? He shouldn't have did it to us. See? Because he ain't got no portion over there. So get all you can get. See, his problem is he should have parasite off the other demons, not mess with us. You see? That's my issue with him. See? These other preachers, they out here parasiting off the other demons, fine. As long as they ain't got none of us up in there deceiving and confusing like other demons, who cares? But this guy got some pearls. I'm just gonna play some. I'm not gonna play all of it because it would be here for a while. I'm just see if I can catch some of it, and maybe I'll play the whole thing. I'll take and share the whole thing. So you can look at the whole thing. But I don't want. I just want to catch a couple of little sound bites here.
They're destroying the old America. Everything that they're doing. Just look.
Listen, destroy the old America. What the hell was the old America? You see these people? Ask yourself, what was the old America? We was in chains. What was old America? We was in chains. They was running. We was animals. Eating slop and shitlings. See, being beaten, raped. We want to go back to old America. And black folks let that pass. Ask them, what the hell old America you talking about? America's been racist and wicked from its very beginning. But see, to them, see, they said that, but he know what he said. He said we too stupid to understand it. Because see, remember, if they look at us like animals, that's the same thing like a dog. You can tell a dog, man, I'm gonna poison you. I'm gonna put the poison in the steak. I'm gonna put the poison in your dog food. I'm gonna put you down. I'm gonna put you to sleep. He's still wagging his tail. He's your kid, don't know the hell you're talking about. And that shows you, see what he's saying, and most of you don't pay attention to it, that because they say him talking like that. See, be careful with his words, because he don't believe you understand a damn thing he's saying. Because that's what he think of. You think we stupid people. So they can say this stuff and get away with it, because you look at, wait, what did he say? All America, you start asking questions which you won't ask. See, they took your ability, your critical analytics ability from you. You're not critical of anything they say. You just believe it. Because once they gave you Christianity, how in the hell can you be a Christian and think critical analytically? It's impossible. Because if you did, you wouldn't be a Christian. There's no Christian that think logically, rationally. No. It's impossible. Well, I'm a scientist. Well, you're a dumb scientist. Because if you're a Christian and you think, and you critical, and you Christian, then you don't think critically, analytically. You can't. It's impossible. Because the first thing you get rid of that, because there's nothing reasonable, scientific, logical about it. Nothing. Come on, we'll go here.
Go ahead. Look at their tactics. What Biden and Harris are doing at the border, it's not a crisis. It's a deliberate policy. Tom stopped anytime. Anything you look at, what the left is doing, it is to destroy anything that's good in this country.
There's nothing good.
If you want to be upset, you should be upset at the complacency of the American people who are letting them do it. That's what should make you upset. The complacency of the public to just stand by and watch the country be dismantled. Now that gets me upset. It's not the left destroying the country. It's the right doing nothing. That's what upsets me. The laziness now. Yes. Yes. The public is so drugged through pharmaceuticals.
Listen.
Dumbed down through public education. Mesmerized by entertainment. Their heads filled with propaganda from the news media. But they just sit there and do nothing.
See, he even recognized what I've been saying. Remember drugs, they confused, and distractions and everything. They see that too, but they don't know. They don't recognize. They don't know what it means. So let's go down to. I'm gonna go down to the end here, and because I want to move to another subject here. So I hope we can get to this last part here.
American who's been sent to the Olympics as part of the field and track team. If we had a systemic rate.
Hold it. This.
Thank you, Kerry. Welcome to Godcast.
Oh boy, this is the part I want you to get.
System, but the thing here, there wouldn't be an African American who's been sent to the Olympics as part of the field.
Watch this logic.
Right, naturally. I've seen it in my lifetime. Well, just that Olympic. And the left is coming back saying every white person is a racist. And they say systematic. It means the entire system is systemic. The goodness of their heart. I've watched the American people. They used economic class to divide the people. Right. They divided the people by their economic status. In America, the Marxists are dividing us by race. Yes.
See, they divide. You did that. You started. That's how you started this whole thing out. You were divided by race. These people are sick. How do you think the Marxists doing it? That's the way you started this whole damn country. You divide up by race. You kill all the Indians, put them on the reservation.
Why can't you say it? Why can't you confront a Marxist revolution?
The Marxists, and they divide the country. The country's been divided since its very beginning. It's them against everybody else. These people are sick. Don't show me no mirrors.
Or, they'll talk about critical race theory. Well, this is the most, outrageous, stupid thing that's, just upsetting people. No, it's Marxism. Yes, right out of the Marxist flavor. It's Marxism. In the Russia, they used economic class to divide the people. Right. They divided the people by their economic status. In America, the Marxists are dividing us by race. Yes. Throughout my lifetime, I've watched
the
American people, the goodness of their heart. I've watched the American people steadily remove racism and discrimination. Right. Naturally. I've seen it in my lifetime.
You catch that? Oops. You catch that? But this is amazing. This is amazing stuff.
Destroy the system. But the thing here, there wouldn't be a steadily.
Listen to this.
The American people, the goodness of their heart. I've watched the American people steadily remove racism and discrimination. Right.
Steadily remove it. See? You remove something, that means it's already there. You to remove it. But they say it don't exist in America, so I can remove something that don't exist. See, they say their own words because they can't, it's hard for them to get totally around it. He said, I saw slowly and steadily. So what are we supposed to be doing while they slowly and steadily removing racism. What we're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be patient while they slowly, and out of the goodness of their hearts, we slowly and steadily removing racism. I've watched American people out of the goodness of their heart slowly, in my lifetime, see, he's in his 70s, in my lifetime, over 70 years, slowly and steadily remove racism. So in other words, racism has been existing all that time, and they're slowly, steadily doing it. But what we're supposed to be doing while they slowly, steadily doing it, be patient. That's what he's saying, exactly. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar, right? You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to feel like that. You don't have to be a mathematician. You don't have to be a PhD to understand what he just said. That means the country is racist. But they're slowly, steadily removing it. But they haven't done it yet, so it's still racist. See, critical analytics. He said the country's still racist, always been racist since his whole lifetime has been racist, all his whole lifetime. Read what he said. The country racist his whole lifetime, even before his lifetime, but at least during his whole lifetime has been racist, but he's slowly, steadily removing it, but they haven't achieved it yet. See, and black folks should just be patient while they slowly, steadily remove it. Woo. Well, our people, woo, they, woo. And he just, I mean, he got to come out and say it.
American people steadily remove racism and discrimination. Right.
I'm going to out the goodness of the heart part.
Steadily remove racism.
I want the goodness of the heart part.
Economic status. In America, the Marxists are dividing us by race and effectiveness. Throughout my lifetime, I've watched the American people, the goodness of their hearts.
Goodness of their hearts.
The American people steadily remove racism and discrimination. Right. See, naturally. I've seen it in my lifetime. And the left is coming back saying every white person is a racist. And that's they say system.
Isn't that what he just said? His lifetime. And we're supposed to be grateful for that. See? But, because it's still racist all this time now. Remember, they steadily removed it, so it's still there. But we're supposed to be patient. We should be happy because they steadily removing it in his lifetime. But they're not racist. He just said they was racist. Whole country. They haven't removed it. So how goes holding them up?
It means the entire system is systemic. What do you have to do then? Destroy the system. But the thing here, there wouldn't be an app.
Listen to this fool. He's from India. Take your ass back to India.
Systematic. It means the entire system.
Listen to this.
Right. See, naturally. I've seen it in my lifetime. Well, just with that Olympic.
Listen.
The left is coming back saying every white person is a racist. And that's, they say systematic. It means the entire system is systemic. What do you have to do then? Destroy the system. But the thing here, there wouldn't be an African American who's being sent to the Olympics as part of the field and track team if we had a systemic racist country.
Now, how in the hell you cover that kind of logic? How in the hell you cover that kind of logic? You remember, what was that, Jesse Owens? Was that Jesse Owens? Back during the 40s, when blacks couldn't even, we still had segregation and you couldn't drink the same fountain, that kind of stuff. That was open racism in this country, right? Open racism. And he was in the Olympics. See, they said any damn thing. Well, that wasn't impossible. It was systemic racism. When Jesse, I think his name was Jesse Owens, a track star, when he ran in the Olympics over in Germany, while Hitler was in power over there, before World War II. What was that, in the 30s? And it was open racism in this country, segregation, everything else. He was up in the Olympics. So, see, they said any damn thing because they got to find some kind of way to prove, to convince themselves that they're good, holy, good people. Because it don't make no damn sense. He just said, how could that be if it was systemic racism in this country? It was systemic racism, open systemic racism back in the 30s. Everybody recognized that.
It's ridiculous.
And that's
what
ridiculous.
I'm saying is, I hear these destroy the system. But the thing here, there wouldn't be an African American who's being sent to the Olympics as part of the field and track team if we had a systemic racist country. Precisely. It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So, what I'm saying is, I hear these politicians and commentators on television, news networks, radio, and they're like, I don't understand. Why these people are difficult to reason with, and they think they're seriously common. What nonsense. You know why they wouldn't address it. The very commentators and the very politicians that are being brought on, they've got their own spiritual issues. Yes. I mean, just Jesse Waters, for example, I had a clip in there. Jesse Waters left his wife and kid to marry his producer. That happened. That was only a couple years ago now. We don't even know the scandals that some of these politicians have hiding.
Okay, that's enough of that. Brothers and sisters. Oh, man. Okay, we're going to talk about another subject here, brothers and sisters. Then we're going to wrap it up. This is something that you might want to study. I suggested earlier, I believe it was earlier this week, I believe, right? Now Melchizedek. See, they show dishonesty to these so-called preachers and carrying on. Because they don't talk about Hebrews 7. I'm just going to touch on a little bit, right? So you do a study, because it's pretty easy to see, right? I'm going to read a little bit of it. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, Salem means peace, right? Melchizedek, king of Salem, king of peace. What was Jesus' title? His title was Prince of Peace. So Melchizedek is greater than him. That means he would be Jesus' father. Follow this now. He'd be Jesus' father because he's a king of peace, right? And Jesus is Prince of Peace, right? Now look at this Melchizedek now. Priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham as he returned from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham appointed a tenth of all spoils. Now Abraham didn't submit to nobody but God, right? That's what Abraham is known for. See, but he's giving this person 1/10. So this person must be God. See, okay. To whom Abraham apportioned a tenth of all the spoils, because that's the only one Abraham tithe was to God. That's what the scriptures tell us, both so the Bible and the Quran. And was first of all by whom also Abraham, this person in Melchizedek, Abraham appointed a tenth of all the spoils, me tithe to him, was first of all by translation his name being King of Righteousness, and then also King of Salem, right? So this person, Melchizedek, King of Righteousness, also King of Peace, Salem, which is King of Peace. That's what it says. It tells right there. Salem means King of Peace, right? Without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning nor days, nor end, no beginning of days nor end of life, but made like the Son of God, he remains a priest perpetually. Now observe how great this man was. Now how great this man, Melchizedek man, was. Say Spirit spoke how great this man, no matter what translation you get, that's what it's going to say. No matter how great this man was, to whom Abraham, the patriarch, gave a tenth of spoils. In other words, this man who Abraham bowed to, who Abraham worshipped. Man. God's a man. That's Melchizedek, God. He's a king. See, when they talk about the Most High God, they talk about Allah, they talk about mathematics. Because look, this Melchizedek, right? Okay, he says beginning of days or end of life. That means he's been ever. He's always been here. He's never always been here. That means if he's right, that means if he's always been here, then who made him if he's always been here? You understand? So this Melchizedek has two connotations here. In one sense, talking about Farad. In another sense, talking about the original nation. Right? Because when they talk about Allah in the Quran and that God, they're talking about mathematics, because mathematics rules everything. Because we all mathematics. But listen, so Melchizedek, he's a king. But Jesus' title was prince. So he would be his son. Remember Jesus was talking about his father? But he's got to be talking about Melchizedek, his father, because he says Melchizedek, right? He says he has neither father, nor mother. So he's self-created. He has no father, no mother, right? Without genealogy. So he didn't come from nobody. He knows the sins of anything. The sins. He had no ancestors, nothing. Right? Have neither beginning nor day of days, the end of life. He's forever. But made like the Son, he remains a priest perpetually forever. He's always been, always will be. How is that to be anybody to God? So this verse they're talking about Farad. So let's go to the next one. This is right there, bro. So you can read this. This is pretty straightforward. Even without injury, you should be able to follow this one. Now, I'm just jumping ahead. You can read the whole thing. I'm jumping ahead because I was at I went down to verse 4. Now we're skipping over to went down to verse 4, and now we're skipping to verse 22. You can read the whole thing, right, when it's leisure. That's Hebrews 7. By the same extent, Jesus, this is Joshua, right? See, also became the guarantee of a better covenant. See, the covenant. See, the former priests, on the one hand, exist in greater numbers because they were prevented by death from continuing. That means we went to energy deprivation. We lost our priesthood. That's what he's talking about. Jesus, on the other hand, because he continues after the deprivation, energy deprivation, because he continues. See, they died during energy deprivation, right? But now he continues in the restoration, right? See, he's talking about, right? Because David was the father and Solomon was the son. See, okay, listen carefully now. he can, but prevented by death continuing. But Jesus, on the other hand, because he continues, right, forever, holds his priesthood. He's a priest. He's a priest, right? Permanently. So you got these two because Melchizedek is always going to be. He says he's not going to die. So you got these two. There you go with the two again. So you got two, right? The Father and the Son, right? Therefore, he is able to save forever those who come to God through him. Remember, said, "You only way you come to the Father, but through me." Since he always lives to make intercession for them, because he pleads for his people. That's why he sacrifices people. He suffered for his people. That's why he called him the Lamb of God, because he's sitting here, right? Instead of running, get out where there's an earthquake coming. He's trying to carry his people, right, and trying to run to stay ahead of the storm that's coming. Because he can just save himself, but he's trying to save his people too. That's what it's trying to tell you here. See, since he always lived to make intercession for them. No, for I look, we help me. We got help me. He's pleading for his people. See, and then here after the same thing, because he's a priest. To make intercession for them. For it was not fitting for us to have such a high priest. For it was not fitting for us to have such a high priest. See, he's the greatest high priest we ever had. Holy, innocent, undefiled, separated from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Remember I said the point is, he was forced to live a sinful life. Just like we always forced to live a sinful life, though we're not sinners. It's like when Prophet Muhammad suspended the law about cutting your hands off during the famine. People were stealing, not thieves, but there's no food. They're going to want to take care of their family. So they're going to say, man, I'm not going to, the apple over there, I'm not going to steal apple, and my family starving. No, you're going to take it. And that's common sense. And Prophet Muhammad understood that because he said after the famine's over, nobody had no damn hands, including him. Okay? And exalted above the heavens, who has no daily need like those high priests. See, he ain't begging anybody for anything. Like Farrakhan and them. Send me money so I can have these beautiful $5,000 glasses and the pretty dresses and all that kind of stuff. See? Because if you're God, you shouldn't need that, right? Who has no daily need like those high priests to offer up sacrifices. See, in other words, that you got to give money to them. First, for his own sin, and then for the sin of the people, because he did not. See, man, he says he got sins too. He didn't say we're sinless. He says we all got sins, But sins are imputed to our enemy because they force in a condition of sin, but we're not sinners. Like somebody throw you into a pig pen, right? You're not filthy, right? You're not filthy by nature, but you're filthy because you're in that condition. But once you come out of there, shower, it's gone. But that pig, he's gonna be a pig forever. For the sins of the people, because he did somebody people in here, both of them, suffer from sin because we're in a situation with the sinful people that get out of here. For the sin, because he did not, okay, who has no daily need like those high priests to offer up sacrifice first for his own sins, then for sins of the people, because he did this once for all time and he offered up himself. That's the situation we're going through right now because he stayed here. Once he unbroke the seals, he didn't leave. He stayed here and struggled with you for 30 some years, more than 30 some years, struggled with you, brothers and sisters. He didn't need to. He didn't need to do any of this. Once he understood, he knew exactly what to do, where to go, and everything. He needed this. So why is he doing it? Because he's not asking you for any money. He's been thrown in jail. He lost everything he had, right? He's been homeless. He's been all kinds of stuff. Why? Trying to get this message to you. He didn't ask you for anything. He didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do this. Nobody's compelled him to do it. There's nothing that says he has to do it. See, because he offered up himself. Once he realized he had a choice. Like I said, once I realized, I didn't realize what I was up against when I first got to. Once I realized I had a choice to make. And I made that choice for you. I lost everything when I made that choice, right? I told I was living in a mini mansion, everything. I lost everything overnight, just like it says in Jonah. See, I made the choice. Nobody compelled me to make it. When I looked at it, I said, in second thought, if I didn't really fully understand all I was going to go through. If I knew all of it, well, I'm not going to say. I've done it now, so why should I urinate on my decision? It's made. It's a good decision for your purposes, brothers and sisters. It's for you. It's not for me. I'm going to be delivered, whether you with me or not. You better read the book again. See? So this is sacrifice for you. It's for you totally. My salvation doesn't depend on you. I don't have to wait for God to deliver me because I know where to go right now. But I need him to deliver me if I wait till the last minute, last train, when the earthquake really hit. Then I ain't got then it's too late. I got to depend on him because he's gonna snatch it out right at that time. But if I know right now, it's right now, this right now, I grab my wife. We get the hell out of here. I know exactly where to go and where to be. For the Lord appoints men as high priests who are weak. But the word of the oath, which came after the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever. See? It's talking about these other preachers and all the kinds of demons, right? See, the law made them weak because it condemned them as being weak because they could not stand up to the law. The law shows like a mirror. And they couldn't obey the law. They talk, they fornicate and all that stuff. That's why Paul said we get rid of the law. Because if we stamp the law, then we can't stamp to it, and we have to admit that we're weak, no good. So righteousness for us, see, righteous for them is they believe in Jesus and they're righteous. That's what they say. So the more they believe in Jesus, no matter what they do, they're righteous. That's their hope of being right. Because they know when they look at what they're doing with gay stuff and everything else, that's totally against the law. But as long as they believe, you can be gay, as long as you believe in Jesus, that's good enough. See, because they circumvent the law. That's the mystery of the law is all about. Because they can't obey it. So that's why I had to get rid of the law. Say the law doesn't matter. You just have to believe in Jesus. And you're saved. Because they say the law will not save them. And the law will not save them because they can't obey the law. Because that's our law. But that law, it said our law, it said what? It said law be written in our hearts. What God's going to take and write in our heart? No, it means it's going to be renewed because that's in your heart. Because that law is your heart. That law is your nature. That law didn't create us. That law is an expression of our nature. It's like once you figure out how birds, how you figure out how lions live, right? Then you can write down what lions do is right, right? But that's not gonna change. You just write down what their nature is. They ain't gotta follow it because that's what they doing. You just wrote it down. So when they write their law down, they just look and say, what's our nature? We don't lie, we don't steal, we don't commit adultery. That's what they wrote down. But for us, that's our nature. For them, it's the law. You understand? I mean, I make clear. For us, it's our nature. That's why it's written in our hearts. But them, it's the law, and they can't obey it because it's against their nature. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on. I've been in it much longer than I expected. I hope I clear up a lot of stuff. But I said I'm trying to really, it's, well, okay, well, I'm going. This is the full text. I'm not going to read all over again. You read your own whole Hebrews 7, and right now I'm speaking to the beacons. Because what I gave you, that's what you need, brothers and sisters, to really understand your people, understand what's going on. See, because I told you they cannot stand against you. There's nothing they can say that can stand against you. What they get, see, when you sunlight hits something, it either rotates or it burns up. And so when you hit, they don't get angry with you, or they're gonna start rotating. They start rotating, they might make full rotation that day, just a little bit. You come back the next day, whatever, right? They might take them a year, whatever. So they finally start rotating, then they're with you. Some take longer to rotate than others. You understand? But the demons and the ones that can't keep up with time, they're gonna be burnt by this. They'll be angry. But you see all these lamps. See, you got the lighthouse, and you got all these other lighthouses, right, all over the country. See, we got one on the West Coast, we got some on the mid Central, and the East Coast. They're gonna be all over the country. That's not a coincidence that we got one on East, West, and Central. That's not a coincidence. Things don't happen by accident, brothers and sisters. And if we lose one, it'll be replaced instantly. See? So you're the beacons. Because our people are going to be looking for, once the four winds blow, you know what that's all about, abomination of desolation. Then that's when they're going to wake up. When they wake up, they're going to look for what to do. And you're going to be that beacon. That's what I'm teaching, like I'm teaching, brothers and sisters. So you don't have to come and ask me, what should I do next? You're a God, you should know what to do. You know the program, you know what we need to do. We ain't changing nothing. We're not compromising. And when you take that position, you do not compromise anything that vision, not one iota. Because if you missed the plane by 1 billionth of a second, you still missed it. You don't compromise that vision in what you do or what they do. I don't care what they say. See? But you that light, you that beacon that they're gonna need. So and all I'm doing is giving you fuel so you can shine brighter and brighter and brighter. You're talking about God's here, stars. Not talking about moonlight. Elijah Muhammad was moonlight. You're starlight. I'm getting deeper and deeper in this for you. I got pretty deep into it today. See, I'm getting deeper and deeper in this for you. Fuel them lights, get brighter and brighter. So you go out there. I made these. I bought these beacons. I lit these beacons. Now you go out and go and light some more beacons. Like I said, you're stars. You're not moons. You're the light. You're a messenger of the covenant. If you're out there spreading this light, you're a messenger of the covenant. If you're applying the 5 pillars of Islam, you're an angel warrior. It's up to you, brothers and sisters. You're a beacon. You're a messenger of the covenant. Angel, you may be angel warrior. You can be all 3 of them. It's up to you, brothers and sisters. There's no burden on these sisters. These sisters, if you take it out here and you bring a God to existence, you've done everything more than enough. Because this don't mean anything. We don't have no future, right? What are we creating a future for? So we can keep traveling through future. So we keep traveling through time. Remember the four birds teaching to climb to you, right? Our genes, right? Our DNA still keep traveling time. That's why I call them as birds. They're flying. So when you aspire, right, your genes on all the mountains, all your relatives and everything else, and that's why you got to keep them going through time. Right? If they stop, then you stop with them because they the ones got they're the birds, right, on every mountain. So they flying through. So you got to get them right, but you can't sit around and let them hold you back. That don't make any sense because you can produce when you make it here after, right, you can produce a whole lot more birds. Because we're moving through time, brothers and sisters. So right now, you are responsible for your timeline, right, to keep moving through time. It's going to be your descendants that's going to be inhabiting the stars. And there's only 4 or 5 or 10 of us, then we're going to populate the stars from our seed, and everybody else is gone. And you'll be immortal from that process. Take 4 birds, teach them to climb to you, place them on all the mountains, and and then call them. They come you flying, see, because they travel through time with us, right? You carrying parts of your parent with you traveling through time, right? And you part of it, aren't you made up their DNA? You carrying part of your grandfather, right? Traveling through time. See? So that's why when you disrespect your ancestors, right? You hate your ancestors, right? Then you're destroying them and yourself too. See? These Negroes, right? That working with the enemy, pissing on their ancestors. They stop the timeline because they ain't gonna get any further. See? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. What's this? Boy. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So, we're time travelers. See, for us, he's way ahead of us. See, I'm keeping up with him. See, but right now, I can keep up with him. That's the whole point. I was just telling you about Melchizedek, right? The two. But the point is, what's holding me back is you. Because I got my burden, I got to carry you to the finish line. And everyone I can take and turn into a runner, a time creator, that means now my back and they help me carry the other ones. Hopefully, we get enough that we can stay ahead of the storm and get to the finish line, right, to the transportation, get the hell out of here before the storm hits. Because it's coming. I already see it coming. Most of you don't even see it coming. It's already coming. And we're trying to get you, right, ahead of that storm, to the finish line, to the airport, to transportation, get your hell out of here for that storm come wipe out everything. And some of us are going to still be here in the storm. See? So we have to have an emergency come pick up for you. See? Before the full storm blast. Hope you understand, bro. I'm trying to give a good knowledge so you understand. Hope you understand, bro. Assalamu alaikum.